Welcome back. True Colors is celebrating their 20th anniversary with a conference at UConn this week. The organization is a nonprofit that works with schools, social service agencies, also communities to ensure the needs get met of sexual and gender minority youth.
And joining us this morning are Robin McCallan, the executive director of True Colors, along with Joe Pinney, an E.O. Smith student and True Colors intern, as well as Nick Sherman, who is a New Britain High School student. Thank you all for being with us this morning.
Thanks for having
Robin,
us.
let's start with this conference because this is really exciting. It's going to be a big deal. About 3,000 people are going to be attending next week.
It's the 20th anniversary conference. There's a Professional Best Practices Day on Thursday, and then there's the full conference on Friday and Saturday. About 90 to 100 schools use it as a field trip. We have kids from all over the Northeast and the country that come, presenters from all over the country, and it's really exciting. It's an opportunity for young people, both high school and actually some middle school students, to really just have an opportunity to just be themselves and to be in a community where who they are is welcomed and valued.
What will they expect to see and hear there?
I think they'll expect to see and hear that they're welcomed and that they're loved and that they're cared for and that they belong. And that for some young people, it's the only time in their year that they hear that they belong. And that we know that family response makes a difference, and that that for kids who have supportive families, they do very well. Nick and Joe are really great examples of that. But we also work with kids whose families are not supportive, and that they tend to do less well. And so the conference creates a space where every kid feels welcomed, valued, and affirmed, no matter what their sexual orientation, no matter what their gender identity. And almost half the kids that come are straight allies. So it's a conference for everybody who wants to create a world in which everyone is valued.
As you mentioned, Nick and Joe have very supportive families, but that is not always the case, unfortunately. And unfortunately, sometimes it is the extreme opposite. You have some really difficult stories.
Yeah, we work with the Department of Children and Families, so all the young people in the mentoring program that we run have all been sort of thrown away by their families. And I get calls every day. Yesterday I got a call from a social worker with a teen down in the western part of the state who came out as transgender, and the family, put him out. And so I now have to try to figure out if we can find, he's couch surfing right now with friends, but you can't do that through the end of the school year.
So Joe and Nick, let's talk to you about your experience. Nick, you want to tell us about your experience as transgender and how that was with your family?
When I first came out, they didn't entirely understand what I was saying. They didn't totally believe me. It's a big shock, but I've never had to worry about finding a place to stay. I've never had to worry about them not loving me anymore. Never had a problem like that.
And what about you, Joe?
I mean, I came out really early in life. I came out in 6th grade, so when I was like 10 or 11. I came out to my mom first, and her immediate response was just that my parents have always loved me, and they told me that they knew since I was young, so.
So you both have support of family and friends, but do you also have friends that are getting maybe the opposite treatment from their family, really having a really difficult time?
Yeah.
And what are you hearing from them?
A couple of my best friends, they struggle a lot with, first of all, identifying with themselves, and then building up enough courage to actually follow through and actually come out to their parents. And that's a struggle just in itself, but sometimes even their parents, they don't take it that well, and they do get kicked out too.
Sorry. What's been your experience, Nick, with your friends? And do you have any advice for somebody maybe your age that has a similar situation and what they should be doing?
It really depends on your parents. I have a lot of friends who haven't been able to come out at all, but we try to make them feel like they're accepted at school and they have a place to go at school and talk to us if they can't talk at home.
And this conference is a great way to sort of just meet new people and get advice and really just feel at home, right? And comfortable with everyone. And
it's a great place.
You've been to the conferences before.
It can be rough at school. I mean, adults can be a little bit more understanding. Some can't, but how is it at school? Joe, want to tell me just what the feel is?
I've experienced a lot of bullying and harassment at school, but a lot of the faculty members make it a point to make sure everyone's comfortable and they get the proper treatment. So.
Robin, Joe, Nick, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Conference is next Thursday?
It's Thursday, this coming Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
And we'll have all the information on our website.
Great. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
And thank you all for being here today.
The three of you. Joe Fury, how's the weather looking, buddy?
All right, guys, right now a little break in the action. Not too much going on out there at the moment. Take a look at live Doppler radar. You'll see that we have, well, a band of moisture that is out to the west. See that one band? That was the 3